down to Avali and the victorious mid laner.
Thanks, Freak. I am here with Mr. Bench Me, and I'm going to take you down the first chance I get. Jensen, congratulations on the game. Game 1, first game of the year, and you're taking down your old team. Does this victory just make that win all the more sweet?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I would be really sad if I lost to Cloud9 because I think a lot of people would have gone after me in that case, you know, and won my head. But since we won, it's definitely a good feeling. But I feel like we played kind of sloppy, but, you know, in the end, all that matters is that we got the win.
I mean, you say that the team played a little bit sloppy, but I mean, I thought you guys looked really put together. You were completely stomping on Cassiopeia. How's your transition been to the team so far?
In the start, it was a little rough, I'd say. But I think we synergized pretty well together and all figured out our role pretty fast within the team. And I think we've been playing together really well in practice. So far, it's actually been really good. Like, I don't think I've ever had practice go as well as it did before, so that's definitely something good.
Besides the role of mid lane, has your role on the team changed since coming from Cloud9?
I wouldn't say so. It's just more about like calling around mid lane more, I'd say. But other than that, I think it's kind of similar because we have so many veterans. So like, I think Core JJ does a lot of the shot calling, so I don't really have to say too much since I think everyone just kind of leads the team. It just kind of depends on the situation, but it hasn't really changed much now.
People are really excited to see Core JJ coming into NA. What's it like playing with him?
He's crazy good. Like I've never seen a player this good before. Like not just like individual play, but just overall like when it comes to the game and like yeah, just everything about the game is super insane about him.
So you are joining Team Liquid, the back-to-back champions of last year. I mean, everyone's expecting this team to be the best in the league this split. Is there any kind of pressure on your shoulders?
I'd say there's definitely some pressure, but it's nothing that really affects me. I mean, I made this change because I want to win as well myself, and I feel like at this point I've been playing for 3.5 years and I haven't won yet, so it's something that needs to happen this year. And then, I mean, the main goal was also just international. I think with this roster, we have a lot higher ceiling, and I think we can do something at international tournaments.
Looking forward to seeing it. Jensen, thank you and congratulations again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. TL, our defending champions, picking up that first victory of the split in the rematch versus Cloud9. But of course, as was mentioned before the game, all of our focus was on that mid lane. Jensen against his replacement in Niski. So I want to dive straight into that matchup. Quite clearly, Jensen came out on top. His scoreline was fantastic. But how do you felt Niski dealt with this kind of pressure in his first match of the LCS Spring Split?
Well, Niski was doing really well in lane phase, and then he made some questionable decisions, such as this flash, trading for the jungler's one. So for a mid laner, you almost never want to trade your flash for a jungler's, because they don't need it to be safe or play safe, but you need yours to stay alive. And he gets punished for this later when Sign comes down and roams on him, and that really gets pressure going in Team Liquid's favor. And it just makes it hard for him to do things when he doesn't have that pressure. But then later the game goes on, he starts bringing it back. Like in these team fights in the mid game, he really shows his prowess of a player when he's able to find these picks and these kills. So I would say his lane phase was a bit questionable due to like one thing he did, but his mid-game playing was really impressive.
And to be fair, you know, not every team is going to punish that mistake flash. I think it was really a heads-up play by Team Liquid to go punish that timing window and having him rode down. And then after that, I mean, you kind of saw why Team Liquid shelled out in the offseason for Jensen as he put on the carry pants, ended up being like the massive Cassiopeia player that we know he is. And that was kind of the carry. I think the rest of the map kind of went how we expected, with Licorice getting the better part of the top side matchup. For the most part, Doublelift getting the better of the bot side matchup. But the win condition that High kind of highlighted really fell apart.
All about the swinginess of the mid lane and whether or not Svenskeren and Niski as a duo could control the pace of the game and the mid lane itself. As was mentioned, the early game goes in favor of Team Liquid. There was some back and forth in the team fight, and I got to say I was at least very happy to see such a close game in our first game of the split. With these two rosters. But what are your overall feelings now on these two squads? Quite obviously, there was high expectation for Team Liquid. Living up to it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, I was watching Core JJ pretty closely, and like his accuracy with Braum Qs and just knowing when to go in and when not to. I thought he had a really impressive debut performance. Obviously, there's a much larger spotlight on the grudge match of Jensen versus old, C9. But I thought Core JJ looked super good, Jensen looked super good, and then the rest of the Team Liquid still looked like the strengths that they have from last season. So I think the train's going to keep rolling.
Honestly, like, they built a star-studded roster, and they're looking to win Worlds, and it really showed here. They got a new mid laner that is like this huge carry, and they have Doublelift with this huge support now. So once again, they've created this narrative where they want to be the best in NA and do well at Worlds, and I think they have the talent to do that this time around.
Yeah, without a doubt, they look very strong here in the first game of the split. Cloud9, even in the loss, how do we feel about this roster? Because it's one of the rosters we've heard about having the most time to develop that synergy, early trip over to Korea for the boot camp. So they have spent a lot of time working this new roster into shape. Even in the loss, how do we feel?
Well, I would say that, I didn't really expect them to win this game. They performed better than I thought, but just comparing Team Liquid to C9, it's just thinking, what does C9 really have over Team Liquid in that sense? So I'm happy that they performed pretty well in the early game, but moving forward, hopefully they'll show them better results. I think it's a bit with their team comp as well, the draft that they had versus the other draft. It's really hard for them to win that game with the champions that they had. So, like, in their defense, if they have stronger team comps, it could help them win easier.
Yeah, Mark, Team Liquid, they got that Lucian you asked for. They got the Sign you asked for. And even though he did fall down in CS against the Urgot, ultimately a very strong team fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't show the predictions, but I did say C9 was going to win that. So, like, I'm kind of like, hey, my win conditions were pretty accurate. And then I got my prediction wrong. So
I was on the same train as you. I thought C9 would open the season hot and that TL would kind of have to warm into it like they did last year. But they start out their split with a victory. It's time for us to step away. When we return, Ovly meets up with owners Reggie and Nadeshot to get their thoughts on their offseason moves. We'll see you here after the break.
The snowball's coming down. Impact does not have a flash away. Can they get resistance damage? They're going to try. It's going to hit. And the first blood of LCS goes to Cloud9 Svenskar. This damage. Sneaky's days are numbered. One more auto attack and a solo kill.
Catch your ulti. I'm coming up with you guys. Oh, nice.
Okay, no, he's dead.
It's okay.
And they're
going to try the 4v4. It's low health bar, so according to they pushed away. How tanky is Urgot? And it's not tanky enough. Jensen is unstoppable.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to fall as well. It's 4 versus 2. And Team Liquid will pick up where they left off, knocking down Cloud9 in North America.